right, welcome back to Lionheart Radio. I'm your host, Rick Alexander, founder of Louisville, based in San Diego, California. And today, my guest is Mark Freeman, who is in Ontario, Canada. And this is actually take two for us because it seems Ontario is a really good place to crash cars and blow shit up and not a great place for Wi-Fi.
Not when you live in the country, that's for sure.
Yeah. Like I was saying before, I built a bio for you, and then I found this Go Riding magazine. I don't know if it's a magazine or an online publication, but they kind of did a piece on you.
Yep.
And the first two paragraphs, I think, nailed it. So I'm just going to go ahead and read those. If it has a motor, Mark Freeman's probably jumped it, crashed it, set it on fire, or perfected its landing. Don't know who he is? Google him. Haven't seen his stunts? YouTube him. Or just ask the closest motorhead. Household name, Mark Freeman 408, went from average boy playing on his toys to YouTube star overnight, but not without a little hard work first. At home, he can be found editing his videos, coming up with the next wow factor, or playing with his beloved German Shepherd. But by day, he is one stunt-making machine who's as daring as they come. He's the type of guy you want to be friends with, and if you are, you better be up for a thrill-seeking challenge. All right.
That magazine's actually hanging right there.
Is it? Oh, nice.
Yeah.
When people come up to you, because I was looking at your Instagram, and I was telling you before, you've by far got the coolest Instagram I found outside of Dan Bilzerian. He's going to always be number one.
Yeah.
You're going to need more half-naked chicks to knock him off, I think.
And a bigger bank account, I think.
Yeah, for sure. When people ask you, how do you describe that?
It changes every time I get asked. Usually I just say motocross racer if I don't really want to get into it with people, but a lot of people already know what I do. Mm-hmm. So I just say most of the time I just make YouTube videos.
Yeah, for sure. Action sports athlete.
Yeah, action sports. Can't really put a full title on what I do because it started out with motocross, but now it's so much more than that. It's ruled off-road world, it seems like. And then I also skydive and wakeboard, ski and snowboard, and basically anything that goes fast enough to do something stupid, I do.
And so you got your start in pro motocross?
Yeah. Well, I've been riding since I was 6. I'm 27 now. I started racing when I was 16, 17. And then I raced all the way up to pro level in ATVs in Canada. And then I kind of just got bored of it. And I wouldn't say I gave it up. I just stopped. Maybe I'll continue again in a few years. But I just felt like I wasn't excelling and kind of spreading my wings enough, and I really wanted to do more than just race every weekend with the same people doing the same thing, right? Mm-hmm. I had the YouTube channel at the time. It was kind of more for just my friends to watch the videos because I used to make DVDs and give them out to all my friends, and I'm like, there's got to be an easier way. So I started the YouTube channel, I was just posting on there, and then in 2009 they came out with a partnership program. I applied for it. I got it a few months later, and that was it.
What partnership?
So YouTube came out with a partnership program before all these YouTubers started, I guess. And it was basically, they put advertising on your videos, you get the income off the advertising, and so on. Now when you start a YouTube channel, you don't even have to apply anymore. You get it right away.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, back when I did it, you had to apply, and then you get accepted. And basically, that was it. You posted your content. I think when you hit like the $100 threshold, that was your first paycheck.
Okay. The sponsors that you have now, they started out sponsoring you for motocross or just to live a cool life?
So Rockstar basically started with motocross and had a few other smaller ones like Lime 9 to do all my graphics. And, there's been tons of sponsors that aren't with me anymore. I get new ones every year, and then there's some that are kind of just like one-offs. Like you'll see me holding a drink or not a drink, but like wearing different clothing.
Yeah, for sure.
That's how it works now in the Instagram world. It's a lot of one-off jobs. Rockstar's been with me for about 6-7 years now. It's really tightly knit family we have going.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Yeah.
So are you at a point now where you're actually making your living just from the videos that you make?
Yeah, I've been making a living off them for about 5 years now.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Yeah. I have about 170 or 80 million views on YouTube, and I bring in a few million views a month, and then I also do jobs for other companies as well, like a lot of clothing and like Team LTD, and then just other stuff online.
Oh, okay. Very cool. And when I was looking at your Instagram, started with motocross. What's your process? Like you just see something cool online and you're like, yeah, I'm going to have to do that. Cause I saw you have you have snow bikes. Like it's not just the normal things like snowmobiling or ATVs or skydiving. Like how do you figure this out?
Honestly, sometimes I'll see it on TV. Sometimes it'll come to me in a dream. I don't know. I don't know how I started. Just I'll think of something and I'll tell one of my friends, and it'll either be the best idea ever or it'll be completely stupid.
Yeah.
But I know in my head that I have to do it, and I think it's possible, so I'm going to try it, even if it's a little risky, which it usually is. And,
yeah, for sure.
But most times it goes well. And
do you have other people that are also making a living doing this, or do you have like a crew? Or
so none of my crew is part of that. Everyone has like a full-time job, but a lot of the guys, a lot of my friends also ride as well, so they're in all the videos that we film, and they usually help me if we do any like car jumps or any crazy stuff like that. So we're all from the country, so everyone has like snowmobiles, dirt bikes, and toys. So
right.
Around with, right? And a lot of people have guns, so that's where all the explosion stuff comes in. Even though we are Canadian and we don't get all the cool guns that the Americans get.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. Are the gun laws up there strict?
Yeah, they're pretty strict. I'm not exactly sure most of the laws. I just know we can't get as much cool stuff as you guys can.
Yeah.
And then handguns are pretty, like, you can get your restricted to get a handgun, but you can only go to like certain ranges, and then I think you can only have like 5 bullet clips instead of whatever you guys have. It's just really limited.
Yeah. So do you ever blow something up and they're like, shit, maybe I shouldn't post that? You have some pretty big explosions on your
everything
channel.
is legal, right? So,
okay.
Like, obviously, if there is anything illegal, I won't post it, but everything we do is pretty legal. We haven't had an issue yet. I have had the cops in my house a couple times, but they're either because one of the neighbors complained that I'm too loud, or one time I crashed the car down the track and then it snowed the next day and I couldn't get it until the snow melted in the spring, so it was down there for like 4 months. The cops knocked on my door one day like 6 a.m. And I came down my underwear. What happened last night? Did I do something bad? And then they're like, yeah, we had 6 reports of an accident. I'm like, where? They're like, oh, your field over there. I'm like, you mean the car that has 3 feet of snow on it?
You just got snowed in?
Yeah, they thought that someone had an accident. It's like 400 feet from the highway. So they were looking for dead bodies, and they searched my whole property out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, why would you call me first instead of, banging down the door?
Yeah, for sure. I'm like picturing the early days of Jackass, like how they used to live. Like, what is a day in the life of Mark Freeman?
It's not as exciting as I make it look. Like, during the week, it's pretty tame. Obviously, in the winter, it slows down a lot because of the weather. We haven't had the best winters lately up here. Like, I haven't done any trail riding this year. I've been doing snow bikes, and I was actually living up north for the past month. Basic day in the life, I get up at 9 or 10, I'll work for a few hours on videos, do a lot of email stuff.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, I work on everything here and all my Rockstar back there. But it's basically just work in the morning, and then I go to the gym for a few hours in the afternoon, and then evening I just work. Usually all friends come over and we go, I live beside a river, so we go fishing every day. And then in the summer, it usually gets a lot busier, so on weekends, I do a lot of events with Rockstar Energy, kind of cross promotion. I'll bring my bike out, sign autographs. We do a lot of different concerts, obviously motocross events, like freestyle events. During the week, we usually ride every day. I have a track at my house, and then there's a few tracks up the road, and then my friends have private tracks as well. So there's a lot of riding going on in the summer, and then usually on the weekends or kind of in the evenings, we'll get sick of riding, and we're like, okay, does anyone have any vents here? I have some explosives in the garage. Here's an old car.
Yeah.
Let's blow it up. One of my contacts for racer, he owns the scrapyard up the road.
Yep.
So he's like, oh yeah, I get cars every week that they still run, but they're not roadworthy anymore. He's like, we just crush them. Like, there's nothing you can do. He's like, if you want them, you can take them, jump them, do your thing, and then just bring them back. Scrap metal is where scrap metal, if it's crushed, to run it, right?
Right.
Awesome. Because before I'd have to spend a couple $100, jump the car, and then, it's hard to make money off that when you spent that already. So
yeah,
go up the road, get a few vehicles, bring them back to my place. I have all the jumps for the dirt bikes, so we just launch them off there, and hopefully something cool happens.
Yeah, I feel like you live in the perfect area to pull something like this off.
I do.
A guy who has cars, like you have land.
Yeah, well, we have a few hundred acres here, and we do have a horse farm. I don't usually blow too much stuff up here, just because it does scare the horses. But a lot of my friends have property too, and there's a few gravel pits up the road that we go to that we can go stuff up.
Gotcha.
My neighbors, I think we've had like probably 6 to 8 different neighbors in the past 15 years.
Oh, really?
I'm not going to say it's because of me, but I think it's because of me.
Right. It's not because of the other guy crashing cars and blowing shit up. So when you make the videos, do you do all of your own editing? Do you have a production crew or?
This past year, I actually hired a camera guy and editor. So he was fresh out of school, and I had friends help out before, just for a few different one-off videos. I brought this guy on start of last summer, and he helped out so much. It was our goal to make 7 videos a week, so he would do like the more professional side, and then I did more of the like vlogging and kind of the day-to-day behind the scenes stuff.
Yep.
And yeah, we did pretty good. I think we made about 180 videos between April and September. And then I broke my back, so slowed things down for a while.
Is that the injury? You had a broken back, punctured lung, bleeding spleen?
That happened August 20th.
Of what year?
Last year.
Oh, wow, okay.
2016.
Can you walk us through that? Like what happened there?
Yeah, it was a combination of things. I was having a bad week, some personal stuff. I wasn't in the right mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I was burnt out.
Yeah.
We were working like 7 days a week. We're filming, and it's a lot of fun what we're doing, but it's just a big mental toll.
It's still a grind, yeah.
Oh yeah, obviously we're having a ton of fun, and you just have fun all the time. But yeah, it definitely does burn you out. And it's nice to take a day off now and again. But I was burnt out. I was having a bad week, and I'd ridden every day that week, and I was just sore, and I just wasn't in the mindset. Anyways, all my friends, they called up. It was Tuesday night. We go out for wings every Tuesday, so everyone was over here. And it was beginning to get the end of the day, and I was riding, but I wasn't riding well. I wasn't riding smooth. I wasn't being smart, and I wasn't thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it was about 8 p.m. and they always say, don't do your last lap. Don't do one more.
Yeah. Were you on a dirt bike?
I was on the dirt bike, yeah. Okay. And so everyone was kind of wrapping it up. They were kind of hanging out at the front of the track. So I go out by myself to the track, and I just started doing my last moto. And I think I was like 4 or 5 laps deep. And there's one jump. So on a part of my track, you ride in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're coming out of the forest, there's about 100-foot step down. And basically, you got to be committed as you're coming out of the forest, like before you can even see the jump. And I don't know what I was thinking. I hadn't even hit it that day yet.
It's 100 feet that you have to clear?
Yeah, 100 feet downhill.
Jesus.
So I come out of the woods, and I'm like, I got this.
Yeah.
Being cocky. So I come flying out of the woods. I hit the gas. I try and seat bounce, and I lean back, and my tire spins. I hit some mud, and my tire spins. I lost speed. I came up short, and because I seat bounced it, I was kind of like, so when you seat bounce, you sit down and kind of preload off the jump. Anyways, it kind of pitched itself up. So I came down, and I basically pogo sticks. I was about 15 feet short, and then
on your back tire.
Yeah, on my back tire, the front end pitched down. I kind of just exploded off, like hands up, head hit the handlebars, and then basically from the landing all the way to the corners, another 50 feet, I bounced all the way to the corner. So I flew about 50, 60 feet off the bike, and all I remember is just shutting my eyes. I'm like, this is going to not end well. So I hit the ground, and it was instant pain. I was burning, and the wind was out of my sails. I couldn't breathe, I couldn't talk. Luckily, while I was riding, one of my other buddies started riding too, so he was about 200 feet behind me. And so he was there right away. And I didn't get knocked out or anything. I didn't hit my head. I landed on my shoulder and my left hip.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember laying there. He came up. He kind of laughed at me.
Yeah.
Because I was making that noise.
Yeah.
So
like the wind knocked out of you noise.
Yeah, exactly. And it was the worst crash I've ever had. And I was just laying there kind of, doing the self-examination. I tried to sit up. No, that's not going to happen. I started pain. So by that time, like, all my friends came over, and there were about 10 people there. And my camera guy came and I'm like, turn the camera off. Right?
Yeah.
You're just in that mood where it's like, what is happening? Am I dying right now? I'm spitting up blood.
Yeah.
I can't breathe. There's clicking. Like when I was breathing, there's clicking in there. And I'm like, what? I touched my lung or my heart.
Yeah.
So, and funny thing was my buddy, another friend who was at the lake that day, and he was driving by my house. He's a paramedic. And he had this really weird feeling. He was like, maybe I should stop it. But he had his kids with him, so he went straight home. But I called him on the way. I was like, Brad, I almost died. Like, I'm on the way to the hospital. What do I do? He's like, walk me through everything, where to go to this hospital. So I went to Western Hospital. Checked me in there. They were all freaking out. I had like 9 nurses, 2 doctors. They cut all my clothes off. A lot of people saw me naked.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah, and they're like reaching me. I'm like, oh, everything hurts. So I'm covered in blood. So I go in for x-rays and numerous x-rays and all the different scans. And then a few other friends came to see me. And the doctor comes in the room. It's probably 2, 3 a.m. by this. So he's like, yeah, there's two cracks in your spine. I'm like, okay. Like, emotionally, it starts to hit me. My eyes water. It's like, all right, what about anything else? Like, I don't know. We're taking you in for more scans. So we go in for more scans. And then my shoulder x-ray is like, yeah, your shoulder's fine. I couldn't lift it. It was so swollen. My hip looked like a friggin' grapefruit. So I come back out, and then they're like, yeah, you punctured your lung. I'm like, what? Every time he came back out, it kept getting worse. He starts feeling like kind of down by my hip, like down here. He's like, that's getting really hard. He's like, we're going to go in for a scan for that. So we're going again. He's like, yeah, you poked a hole in your spleen. He's like, all the blood from your spleen is pouring into your stomach right now. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
He's like, you might die.
That's what he said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and by the way, you have 2 broken ribs. So I'm like, oh, those are fine.
Yeah.
So he's like, we need to emergency transfer you to Victoria Hospital. I'm like, okay, like, let's do it. Let's get her going here. It's 4:30 in the morning at this point. Mm-hmm. I haven't slept. I'm tired. I haven't ate. I'm still dirty because I'm covered in dirt. And it just kept going downhill. So I get emergency transfer and get to the hospital. They're like, yeah, you can have like a 20-minute nap, and then we're going to figure out what we're going to do because the spleen is like, we need to fix this right away. So they were either going to remove it or patch it up. They take like I don't know exactly what it was, but it was like a coil. They insert it, and it holds it up and seals it, and then...
In your spleen?
Yeah, and then it dissolves after 90 days. So that was the 2 options.
Okay.
I'm like, whatever you got to do it. So I fell asleep. I woke up at like 6 a.m. And my dad's in Australia. He's freaking out because my brother sent him a picture of me in the hospital but didn't caption it.
Jesus.
And, people are calling him. No one knows what's going on. I've had over 400 phone calls and text messages of people are freaking out. At that point, I didn't even answer my phone anymore. And then close family friend, she's the first one there in the hospital at 7 a.m. So she comes walking in, and as she walked in, all of a sudden the doctor came ripping and pushed her out of the way. I was like, we're going to emergency surgery right now. And they wheel me out of the room. I'm freaking out at this point. She's crying. I'm crying. I think I'm going to die.
Yeah.
And so they wheel me in. I'm in there for like 2 hours, half sedated. It was a great feeling the whole time. I'm just hitting nurses asking if they need a hand.
Yeah.
So they never actually removed it. They just put that coil in.
Okay.
And sealed it up and stopped bleeding. So, and then, yeah, that was basically it. After that, all my family came and visited me. I was there for about 5-6 days. And then on the 5th day, they had me in rehab. I was walking again, and it was hard. Because of my lung, I would get so tired even just talking. Like, I'd run out of breath. Like, I'd take 2 steps, and I'd have to sit down. It was awful. So, and then on the 5th or 6th day, I got shipped home. And then I was basically back to the couch for a few weeks. And then I think 3 or 4 weeks later, I was back at the gym and up and going and back in yoga. And it hurt a lot, obviously.
Yeah.
Rehab it. But,
right.
So I'm basically 100% healed now. I got a couple good war wounds and scars and a good story, but it was definitely scary for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So when you did the emergency surgery, they kept you awake?
Yeah, so usually they would put you under, but they only half sedated me. And I've been put out before. I've had surgery on like my wisdom teeth and
Right.
stuff, and you get put right out, but you get that like they make you count to 10, and it's like this war feeling. But yeah, they kept me awake for 2 hours. Obviously, they numbed everything. I couldn't feel anything, but I had that warm sensation for 2 hours. It was pretty cool. So
Yeah, for sure. And then did you have to get a chest tube for your punctured lung?
no, no, they said it was like a radiator. Eventually, it would just seal itself. So I don't think it was too like. It wasn't a massive hole or anything.
Okay.
I could still breathe. I think if it was any worse, I would have had to have a chest tube. That was the other thing they were debating on too, was a chest tube, but luckily I never had to get up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was on a lot of drugs. I'd wake up in the night and my breathing would stop just because I was on such, I was so relaxed every night that it would set the alarms off because basically my heart would slow down to like 10 beats a minute.
Oh, really?
To a point where they thought I was, like, they came rushing in the room a few times because they thought my heart stopped.
Yeah.
I'd wake up freaking out and there'd be like 3 nurses screaming. So, yeah, other than the surgery, it went really well after. The doctors were great, the nurses were great, and had a really nice time.
Yeah. So I was going to tell my one more story, but now I just don't feel like it's appropriate. But it's funny how everyone kind of has that, like, knows that intrinsically. It's like you never say one more.
I've done it before, and I've crashed.
Mm-hmm.
I had one 6 years ago. We were out on the track, and it was getting dark, and I said one more. And I came up short on a jump, and I jumped off. I was 40 feet in the air, and I jumped off, and I landed on my butt and broke my tailbone. But then it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I broke my collarbone when I said one more riding BMX bikes when I was like 13. I was like, never again, dude.
Yeah, never say one more. Say 2 more and skip the last one.
Yeah, exactly. Keep fate.
Exactly.
You mentioned mindset. Like, what is the mindset? You think just like focused?
Like when I'm riding?
Yeah, like you said, like you weren't really in the right mindset.
I wasn't focused, and I was just really I was just riding sloppy.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't feel like mentally I was there. Like I should have just stayed in bed and turned my phone off that day. It was just because of the personal stuff, just so burnt out. And, you know, if you're not 100% there, you're riding a 200-300 pound motorcycle that's faster than lightning.
Sure.
You got to be there. Right?
Yeah, sure.
If you're sloppy or hungover, it doesn't feel right. Just don't do it.
Do you ever mess with supplements at all for your riding, like for focus, or do you go to energy drinks or anything?
Not really. I used to do like all the workout supplements, but I never noticed a difference. I do take protein and like branch chains and stuff, but usually it's I just stick to a good diet and take my vitamins and eat lots of spinach.
Like, so on that note, like, because you've talked about the gym a couple different times, how does an action sports athlete work out?
A lot of cardio. Basically, with motocross, because you're holding on to the handlebars so much, you don't want to get super strong in your arms because it'll kind of cut off the blood flow and it won't recirculate as fast as it needs to. Because when we're out there, we're at 20 minutes to half an hour riding, right? Mm-hmm. So if your arms get too big, then you're going to get tired faster, right?
Okay.
So like I don't work out much arms. It's mostly legs and core, and then I get most of my arm workout just from riding the bike.
Okay.
So obviously I'll work out more in the winter because I'm not on the bike. But usually I just do a lot of grip and then mostly legs and back and core. What
about like pull-ups and that kind of a thing? Not really?
Usually, no, maybe once a week.
Yeah.
And then, mostly I just try and do half-hour cardio a day on the bike and that's about it. And then go in the sauna a lot. So I go in the sauna every day after the gym and I wear a full hoodie and sweatpants.
Yeah.
Because when you're on the bike in the summer, it's, 90 degrees and you've got 50 pounds of gear on. You kind of want to replicate it, right?
Right. Out of all the things on your Instagram, what's your favorite?
I've always been a motocross rider. I'll do it for as long as I can, even not to the extreme that I'm doing it now. Mm-hmm. But I'll definitely ride for the rest of my life. Yeah, if you said I could only ride motocross and do nothing else for the rest of my life, I'd be fine with that. But I also really love skydiving. I don't get to do it as much as I want to. I'd love to live near a drop zone and skydive every day. I do get it a few times a year, and it's definitely a nice adrenaline rush. And it's nice to be able to do, obviously there's a lot of skydivers, but not as many as motocross riders. And it's just nice to be able to know that I've done things that a lot of people haven't been able to do, and I've seen a lot of things that you'll never get the chance to see, right? Like,
right.
I stood on top of a hot air balloon a few years ago. That was pretty cool.
On top of the balloon?
On top of the balloon, yeah. If you go, it's on my Instagram somewhere.
Is it?
But,
I have to look for that.
my mom's passed away now, but when I was a kid, she was one of the first to do it. It's called crown walking. And basically, you get strapped onto the top of the balloon, and then the balloon inflates, and it stands up, and then you stand up there. So, my brother and dad are both pilots as well, and last year before, I asked my brother, like, "Sam, you should try it." And then I always talk him into it. So,
yeah.
It's a really good idea. So we cut out a big piece of plywood and we attached it to the top of the balloon, and then I had a safety harness on. And then once I got up there, I stood up and took the selfie and got the pictures. So it's definitely a really cool feeling, and it's just one of those things that, you may be at the top 50 or 100 people to ever do it in the world.
Yeah, for sure.
My life, it seems like it's always about the photo, We're just here to get the photo.
Yeah. But that that's how you make your living, so.
Yeah, exactly. So, I love what I do, and I get to see a lot of cool things and do a lot of cool things that not a lot of people do or would want to do. Like, who wants to jump out of a moving car?
Well, I think people want to. I think people just don't have the balls to do it.
Exactly. And it just gets in my head. It's like, I'll think of something, and it might not make sense to everyone or to me, but somehow I know that it's going to work, and I need to do it.
Yeah.
I got to know what it feels like.
I think people appreciate it. I think that's why you have so many followers, because people like to live vicariously through other people, right?
It's funny just to, like, my friends and family. It's like, "Oh, what are you up to now? I always know your crazy photos." And they're like, "Oh, thank you."
Yeah. That's cool. What do you do most of your filming with? Is it a GoPro or a camera?
For, like, my day-to-day stuff, like vlog stuff, I just use my iPhone. Just because it's such good quality now, and even the slow motion on it's really good. And it's always with me. I used to use, like, a Sony Handycam, but it was so, like, bulky, and half the time I forget it, or even editing with it was such a pain. And now, like, all I use is Apple products. I just plug my phone in, it's there. I can throw a video together in 20 minutes. But then my camera guy, he uses all full professional setup.
Oh, okay.
The steady cams, but I use a lot of GoPro too on my helmet.
Yeah, for the first person kind of view.
Actually, I had a photo posted or published in the GoPro book about 2 years ago.
What is that? The GoPro book?
Yeah, GoPro came out with a book. It's actually, I'll go get it for you.
Yeah,
it's a pretty cool book. It's kind of like behind the tutorial on filmmaking and photography. We're in Stratford, where Justin Bieber's from, actually. We were just flying over in the hot air balloon, and I'm like, I'm gonna shove this thing on top of the hot air balloon. So I did, and my brother hit the flames, and it turned out to be a really cool shot. And then actually went viral.
Oh, nice.
And then GoPro called me and they're like, "Hey, we're publishing a book, and we want to use your photo." I'm like, "Yeah, here you go, take it."
Yeah, that's cool. Did they have to give you credit though?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So here's the book. Professional Guide to Filmmaking. This is Kelly Slater. He's a surfer.
Where can people find this?
Anywhere online.
Okay.
This is my photo over Stratford, Ontario. So that's inside the hot air balloon.
Oh, nice.
The city on the bottom, and me and my brother.
Yep.
And then he had the flame going there.
So you said your brother and your dad are both hot air balloon pilots, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering because all your skydiving pictures are out of a hot air balloon. I'm like, that's something you don't see often.
Yeah. Sometimes my brother has room. I'll jump in, jump out.
Oh, okay.
But I did all my training in Utah out of a plane. My friend actually has a helicopter, so sometimes I'll jump with him. I did a few jobs with Quest Nutrition.
Uh-huh.
So they kind of wanted me to take over their Snapchat for the day.
Oh, nice.
Show them what I do in the day. So I made a really cool, it was a long weekend. And so I basically made it seem like I wake up, take my protein, I ride the dirt bike. No, how did it go? No, I woke up, a helicopter picked me up at my house.
Nice.
I jumped. I had to fake it because the weather was really bad that day, but I made it look like I jumped out of the helicopter. They dropped me off at my track. My dad was waiting there with my dirt bike. I jumped on my dirt bike, did a few laps. Then I drove up north to my friend's cottage, and we went boating all day. So it ended up being really cool. And yeah, I think I made a few people jealous.
Nice. You said, so that picture that you got in the GoPro book, you said that's where Justin Bieber's from?
Yeah, he's from Stratford, Ontario. So,
what is the Canadian opinion of Justin?
It's honestly really, I don't know. Everyone's. Well, you're always going to have your haters and you're jealous. And good for him. He's successful. We're all proud of him.
Yeah.
You know, not everyone likes him. I've never actually met him. A few of my friends actually babysat him when he was a kid.
Oh, wow.
And, a few family friends know his family, but I've never actually met him or his family.
Nice.
Not a whole lot of people in Canada, so, only a few of us end up getting out.
Yeah.
And doing well,
So for people that are interested in even if they're not interested in action sports, like a lot of people that listen to this podcast are like probably CrossFitters or, they power lift or endurance racers. They still want to make a like you've essentially figured out a way to make a living doing what you love without actually, necessarily being a pro athlete. I mean, I know you were a pro motocross racer, but at this point, what kind of advice do you have for people that are looking to do that?
Well, it all depends what you do. So, like, if you're a power lifter,
right,
any of that stuff, it's just, you gotta be 100% dedicated, and it's all about commitment, right? I've had a bunch of people that try and follow my footsteps for the YouTube route, and they started out strong, and then they just realized I don't know if they couldn't do it, or they just didn't have the time, and they gave up on it, right? Like, there was tons of times in my career, I've been doing this for 10 years now. Yeah, this will be my 10th year on YouTube. So there's tons of times where I wanted to quit. I hated it. I was ready to delete my channel. I didn't want to be Mark Freeman 408 anymore. And my dad always talked me through. He's my biggest fan, so he always talked me through it. I was like, "Oh, you're gonna be good. You'll be fine. You'll figure it out." And I always figured it out. So you just gotta be dedicated, committed, find your niche, and just stick with it. But a lot of times when you're going to want to quit, you just say, no, keep going. You're going to get haters. People are going to be jealous and they're going to tell you can't do it. And you just got to stay committed. Basically.
Yeah, for sure. How long were you at it before you kind of really got traction? And
about 3 years, 3-4 years.
Okay. So you were doing it almost every day for 3 or 4 years without seeing anything really.
Yeah. I'd post an awesome video and it'd get maybe 300 views. And then you see this guy on YouTube that posted a video of his cat and it got 100 million views. It's like, I just jumped 150 feet over a burning car and no one gives a shit.
Yeah, for sure. That's good though. I think a lot of people need to step back and realize that. I think a lot of people will go hard for 6 months or for a year or for 2 years.
Exactly, and it's like, no, you gotta be fully committed. This is my 10th year, and I'm nowhere close to where I even want to be. My goal. So there's 3 awards you get with YouTube. One's at 100,000, one's at 1 million, and one's at 10 million. I got the 100,000 one already. It's a silver play button.
Okay.
Basically, it's like a little plaque, and then 1 million is a gold play button, and then 10 million is a diamond play button. So
is that subscribers or
subscribers? Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'll ever get to 10 million, but I'm definitely set my goal for 1 million and get that gold play button. And I don't know when it'll be or where it'll be, but that's my next goal.
Do people buy fake subscribers? People buy fake followers?
I think you can, because you can definitely tell.
Yeah.
If they do, because I have a million subscribers.
Right.
I think a lot of people buy them on Instagram now just to make them look better. I don't know. Maybe it gets them more jobs.
Yeah.
I've never done it because I know companies that have done it actually, and you look and you can see the ratios and it doesn't line up at all. So, I try and do my best and respond to comments and post a lot of cool shit and just hopefully more and more people subscribe every day.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely getting more difficult though because Facebook came out with their video platform now. And you can definitely see it's taking a toll on YouTube. But, that's just going to drive us to work harder and come up with more stuff. And
as new platforms come up, are you getting on those as well? Are you on Facebook video?
Yeah, well, I've had Facebook. I have a fan page too with around 230,000 subscribers as well. So I do stuff on there, but I've noticed so YouTube, basically, I can post everything. I can post the professional stuff. I can post the behind the scenes. I can post vlog stuff, day-to-day stuff, so just talking like this.
Yep.
and people always love it. I'll always have my dedicated followers and fans. I love them. They love me. I love them. But Facebook, it's all about viral videos. People don't care about this. They don't care about a dirt bike race or whatever. They want to see crashes, cute cats and dogs, puppies. They want to see like some guy sending at 200 feet, being a goon, or just basically those 10 to 20 second videos. You just go through that newsfeed and it's like 10 second clip, 10 seconds.
Right.
It's just all the viral content, right?
Yep.
So I think that's what more people are interested in on Facebook. And then I think you're going to see YouTube more turn into like a Netflix kind of thing. Like,
yeah, I think they're already starting to get their like own shows and stuff, right?
Yeah. So they have YouTube Red now. We don't have it yet in Canada. I think it takes $10 a month, and you don't get any of those advertisements or anything, and you can download for offline videos and stuff like that. So keep doing what I'm doing and hopefully come up with some new ideas and post some more stuff up.
Yeah, for sure. Did you ever have a backup plan?
Not really, no. I have investment stuff, and I obviously saved up, put my money in safe places in case something does ever happen to YouTube. I'm not going to rely on it. I don't know if I'll do it for the rest of my life. I'm 27 now. I don't bounce off the ground as easy as I used to.
Right.
But I'm definitely going to continue on and keep doing it for now because I'm really enjoying it, and I'm just the day to day and getting to travel, and it's really cool knowing that there's people out there that are getting inspired by what I do. And obviously it's hard to tell from my office here, but when I go to different places and races and events, and I've even been in like airports, and kids will come up to me and be like, thank you for everything. And I've been watching videos for years, and I actually had one guy, he paralyzed himself. He said he was so bad that he's like gone into depression and he just couldn't do it anymore. And then he said he started watching my videos and made him want to walk again. So it's like training and doing all that stuff and research to basically walk again. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
But a lot of stuff like that, just know that you're making someone happy out there, especially because not everyone has 200 acres and stuff to play around on. So
yeah, for sure.
Definitely. And having all that. So
yeah, that's like one of the cool things I think that I always talk to people about. It's like when you're doing something, if you like love what you're doing and you have this platform, like technology has given us all a platform really. And if you love what you're doing, you're automatically going to inspire somebody just because it's like contagious. You can tell when somebody's like really into what they're doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so you never know who you're inspiring because you never really can see all of the reaches. Like, yeah, you have 87,000 Instagram followers, right? But you don't know how many people like are just kind of like looking from afar or out of the followers.
And that was like when I broke my back, like I could tell right away with the 500 emails and phone calls and messages. Like people I haven't talked to in 10 years were like, oh my God, like they watch my stuff every day, but obviously I don't get to see everyone as much as I would like to because I'm, with my career, I'm traveling a lot and it just doesn't work that way anymore, right? So,
yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely inspire a lot of people doing it. Especially like even closer friends and family, like a lot of guys I went to high school with that, it's hard to stay in contact with anymore. Everyone's watching, so.
Yeah. Are you traveling a lot for exhibition stuff or?
It's mostly for like the Rockstar events. I travel for that. And then sometimes just for vacation, but I'll work anyway on vlogs, and then sometimes I just want to go skydiving in a different country or go dirt biking in a different country. So I'll just get up and go, right?
Yeah.
It's usually just for me. Like I say, hey, let's go dirt biking in Hawaii. So
yeah,
that's what we do.
What's the coolest thing you've done with Rockstar?
We have a ton of great stories. Rockstar Canada is obviously a lot smaller than Rockstar US. So there's like 5-6 main guys that I know. And so we only see each other a couple times a year, but it's always like a big blast. We always go to big music, like country music festivals and races, and it's kind of like a family reunion for us. So
yeah.
I wouldn't say we've done anything like super awesome cool, but we definitely had a lot of great times and memories and stuff that you'll never get to do without the Rockstar card, right?
Right.
So Even just being up on stage at concert, standing in front of 10,000 people taking a selfie, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. Does Mark Freeman have a bucket list?
I've basically crossed out most of it already.
Yeah.
Obviously travel a lot more. Like I've traveled to a lot of places, but there's a lot of Europe, Australia. I'd like to go. I want to go to weird places. Like I'd like to go to like Chernobyl. Go check out that Chernobyl thing.
Yeah.
All that crazy stuff. And I want to skydive in Dubai, and I want to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. And it's just so much to do.
Yeah.
It just seems like there's not enough time to do it. So
it's funny you bring those two up because one of our guests next week, she actually just got done skydiving in Dubai, and then
really?
And then another one of our guests is summiting Kilimanjaro right now. So it's pretty funny.
It's just things that you wouldn't expect a motocross rider to do.
Yeah.
You expect me to be on the bike all the time, but no, I want to just as much as I can while I can.
Well, I think you've set yourself up in a way that's like not boxed you into a corner of like being just a motocross guy. Like if you post a picture of you in Chernobyl or skydiving in Dubai, people aren't going to be like, well, that's weird. You know what I mean? Because your shit's all over the place.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, no, that seems about right.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, he's doing something really cool in another really cool country. Makes sense.
It really comes in handy, too, because when I was in Hawaii last year, 2 years ago, I just went for just a quick vacation, and then I posted a picture, sitting in the pool, and all of a sudden, like, people that live there started texting each other and like, hey, can you get a hold of Mark Freeman? All of a sudden, some guy just takes us dirt biking and like the mountains up in like volcanoes and stuff. I'm like, how did that happen? Or like, I was in Vegas and just for New Year's a couple of years ago, and some guy called me and said, hey, I heard you're in Vegas. You want to come dirt biking? I'm like, yeah. So he came to my hotel, picked me up. He took me out to his private track. We rode all day. Like, I don't know any of these people.
Yeah.
Just fans, right? It's like, I got to trust them, obviously. But
right.
Yeah, I've got some really cool stories.
Yeah, that's cool. I go to Vegas way too much.
You're a lot closer than I am.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, I'm all the way on the other side over here.
The last question I have, it's the Lionheart Kicker. We're going to add this to every show from now on. So if you could give advice and every single person in the world would hear it, what would that advice be?
Never let people tell you what you should be. From my background, I was always told that I'd never amount to anything. Even my teacher told me this. And they'd never say I'd be able to make a living doing this. And I was always told I couldn't do it. And I just said, you know what? It's too bad. I'm going to do it. So, and I've almost died doing it, but I've got more stories and memories and photos than you couldn't put a price limit on what I've accomplished and the things I've seen. So just, if anyone ever says you can't do it, it's never take no for an answer. I guess. If you want to do something, put your head down to the grindstone and you make it happen.
Yeah, just get to it.
Just work your ass off and eventually you'll make it.
When you were like 3 years in, and you still had like another year-ish till you really started picking up traction, were there a lot of people that were like, what are you doing, man? Like
every day.
Really?
And I still get it. People doing it. They're like, when are you gonna start a life, a real life? I'm like,
yeah.
But I look at people that tell me this, and I'm like, honestly, you look miserable.
Yeah.
In what you do, and I haven't seen you smile in years, and you just don't look like you're enjoying what you do, and you just have that 9 to 5. I get to do whatever I want, wherever I want. It was hard getting to this point. It has its ups and downs too, right? I just made it past that 3 or 4 year mark, and it just kind of went from there, right?
Yeah, that is interesting. People are like, they want you to get on the hamster wheel with them that they hate.
Yeah. It's like they're like, oh, what did you do today? I'm like, oh, well, I slept in, I went to the gym, I go on my dirt bike.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got to get up at 5 a.m. and go to work all day. Now I'm tired, I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm sorry to hear about that, but you chose your path, and I chose this one.
Yeah. So, what are you most excited about right now?
For the snow melt and ride my dirt bike. I haven't rode my dirt bike since the fatal night in August. But
really?
I've been racing a little bit of snow bikes. So I haven't been back on my dirt bike, my track, or anything since. So.
Damn. Have you seen Talladega Nights?
Yeah.
When he comes back from the injury, is that going to be you?
Yeah.
You're all afraid to go fast?
Well, yeah, usually it's the first few weeks. in your head for a little bit. But I've been on those snow bikes and racing those, so I don't think I'll have too much of an issue.
Yeah, for sure.
I've overcome injuries before, and it takes a couple days, and you smack yourself in the face a few times, tell yourself you're better than that.
Yeah. I mean, it's part of it, right? It's something you have to accept, I think.
Exactly. You accept it and you move on, and it's life.
Nice. So is there anything you want to plug or talk about that we didn't get to?
No, I think that's pretty much everything. Okay. Quite a lot there. It's 6:00.
Yeah. So Mark Freeman 408, that's where everybody can subscribe to your stuff on YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and then Snapchat too. So I do a lot of behind the scenes on my Snapchat. And then my most live stuff is on Instagram and YouTube if you want to follow me and watch my videos. And if anyone ever has any suggestions or wants to see me do something crazy, just throw a comment in there and I'll probably see it, or send me an email or a DM, and I'm sure I can figure it out. And
there you go, man of the people.
Yeah, if you want me to come down there, I'll come shoot guns and blow stuff up to you. I don't care.
Nice.
I can work from anywhere in the world. So
awesome, man. Well, thanks for being on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was really nice meeting you, and thanks for having me. And hope you do this again soon.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening to Lionheart Radio. Subscribe on iTunes and Stitcher Radio. And don't forget to give us a 5-star rating. For all of your supplement needs and for show notes, visit luaviv.com.